If you've ever stared at a price chart, it can just look like a chaotic mess, right? A jumble of ups and downs. So, how do traders cut through all that noise to see the real story, the actual trend? Well, they use special tools called moving averages. And today, we're going to dive into one of the most popular and powerful ones out there. And this is really the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is the price generally heading up, down, or just sideways? Getting this right is absolutely crucial, but all that day-to-day volatility can so easily throw you off the scent. What we need is a way to smooth everything out so we can see the bigger picture. Okay, so let's get into it. The very first tool that most traders learn about is the simple moving average, or SMA for short. And the name really says it all. It's simple, and it's an average. Its whole job is to take all that choppy price data and turn it into one single, smooth line. So what is it exactly? Well, an SMA takes the closing prices over a certain number of days. Could be 5 days, 20, 200, whatever you choose, and it just calculates the average. Now, the crucial thing to understand here is that it treats every single one of those days as equally important. The price from 20 days ago has the exact same influence as the price from yesterday. And the math behind it? It's incredibly straightforward. You just add up the closing prices for whatever period you're looking at, in this case 5 days, and then you divide by 5. Simple as that, right? That gives you 1 point on the line. Then, the next day, you do it all over again with the newest data. You get another point. Connect all those dots and bam, you've got your moving average. And here is what it looks like in the real world. See that purple line cutting right through the price candles? It's so much smoother than the raw up and down price action. It gives you a much better general sense of direction, filtering out all those noisy daily highs and lows. It's just a clearer, less frantic view of what the market is actually doing. But, and this is a big but, that simplicity comes at a price. The SMA has a pretty critical flaw, a kind of blind spot that can sometimes give you a completely wrong idea about where the market is really headed. So, picture this. Everything's moving along just fine, and then, bam, some surprise news report hits the wires and it causes a massive one-day price drop. How does our trusty, simple moving average handle a shock to the system like that? Just look at how one single number can totally change the game. On the left, we've got our original normal prices. On the right, that one news event on day 2 causes the price to just plunge down to 1.3000 before it recovers on the following days. Now let's see how that shock messes with our calculation. Because the SMA gives equal weight to every single day, that one-off price drop on day 2 drags the entire average down and drags it down hard. The market might have already recovered and moved on, but for the next few days, that old, bad piece of data is still poisoning the well. And that's the real danger here. The SMA would give you the signal that the price is trending down, when in reality, the market just had a little panic attack and is pretty much back to normal. The SMA is showing you old news, and in the world of trading, old news can be a very expensive mistake to make. So that gets you thinking. If only there were a way to filter out those old price spikes to build an average that cares more about what's happening right now than what happened last week. Well, you guessed it, of course there is, and it's called the Exponential Moving Average, or EMA for short, and it's really the elegant solution to the SMA's biggest problem. The EMA is basically a smarter kind of moving average. Its secret sauce is a calculation that deliberately gives more importance, or weight as we call it, to the most recent prices, and that makes it way more responsive to what the market is doing today. So let's just boil it down to the key difference. With an SMA, day 1 and day 5 have the exact same impact on the average. But with an EMA, day 5 has the most impact, day 4 has a little less, day 3 even less, and so on. The influence of that old data just kind of fades away or decays over time. Now, this weighting system gives the EMA some serious advantages. For one, it reacts way faster when a new trend starts to form. The impact of that old price shock we talked about, it fades away much more quickly. It basically minimizes the lag time, and that gives you a much truer picture of the current market trend. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but talk is cheap, right? Let's actually see what this looks like on a chart when you put them head to head. And wow, the difference is just immediately obvious. Take a look at this. The red line, that's our 30-period EMA, and the blue line is the 30-period SMA. Can you see how that red line just hugs the price candles so much more tightly? It follows all the recent twists and turns, while that blue SMA line is kind of slower, a little lazier, and further away from where the action is happening right now.
What you're seeing here is the EMA doing its job perfectly. By focusing on what's been happening lately, it gives you a much more accurate reflection of what traders are thinking and doing in the present moment. It's less like looking in the rearview mirror and more like looking at the road just ahead of you.
And this really just sums it all up. Markets are incredibly dynamic. Sentiment changes fast. So an indicator that prioritizes today's information over last week's is just, by definition, going to be a more effective tool for navigating that kind of environment. So, while the simple moving average is a great place to start, it's pretty clear that the exponential moving average gives you a sharper, more responsive, and more relevant view of the market's trend. It puts the focus on the now, which, let's be honest, is exactly where the opportunities are. So the only question left is, with this clearer picture, how are you going to use it?